Welcome to Monk's Temple. Please, find a comfortable position. Allow your gaze to soften, or if you wish, let your eyes close. There's nowhere you need to be in this moment, nothing you need to achieve. Simply arrive, as you are. Feel the weight of your body being gently held by the chair, the floor, the earth beneath you. Listen to the quiet space between your breaths. This is where our journey begins. Not with effort, but with a gentle return. For so many of us, the day begins not with presence, but with a quiet, internal argument. Before the first conscious thought even forms, a story is already running. It's a story about who we are, what we must do, and what we lack. These stories feel like truth. They feel like the very fabric of reality. But what if they are not? What if they are merely whispers in a vast, silent room? Buddhism, in its profound and ancient wisdom, offers us a lamp. Not to fight the shadows, but to see them for what they are, patterns of thought, not pronouncements of destiny. Today, we will explore together the quiet whispers that drain our focus and tire our spirits before the day has even properly begun. We will meet them not with judgment, but with curiosity. We will see how the core insights of the Buddha, impermanence, non-self, right effort, mindful presence, provide a map out of this tired confusion. This is not about adding more tasks to your life. It is about uncovering a natural clarity that has been there all along, obscured by habit. Let us begin with a story from my own early wandering, before I found the temple. I was young, adrift, and convinced my peace lay in the perfect external arrangement. I traveled to a remote coastal village, known for its stunning sunrises. I was determined to experience the perfect one. I calculated the ideal spot, checked the weather incessantly, and went to bed early, my mind already clutching at the dawn. When I woke, a thick, rolling fog had swallowed the coast. The sea, the sky, the famous cliffs, all gone, vanished into a uniform, luminous gray. My heart sank. The perfect sunrise was ruined. Dejected, I sat on a damp rock. But as I sat there, forced into stillness, I began to listen. I heard the muffled bell of a buoy, a lonely, beautiful sound. I felt the cool, wet kiss of the fog on my skin. I watched the gray itself shift and swirl, revealing hidden depths of silver and pearl. There was no spectacular fiery sun, but there was an immense, quiet intimacy with the world, a softness I had never allowed. I had been so focused on the picture postcard sunrise, the future event I could not control, that I had nearly missed the mysterious, living masterpiece of the fog. I left not disappointed, but deeply moved. The peace I sought wasn't waiting for the perfect condition, it was available in my attentive surrender to the condition that was actually present. This leads us directly to the first, and perhaps most common, morning whisper. The lie of, "I'll be at peace once things are done." We treat peace like a destination at the end of a to-do list. We say, once this report is finished, once the house is clean, once this problem is solved, then I can relax. We turn our present moment into an obstacle course we must grimly endure to reach the tranquil garden on the other side. Buddhism gently corrects this. It teaches that peace, santihi, is not the result of completed activity. It is the quality of awareness you bring to the activity itself. If you cannot find a sliver of calm while washing a single dish, you will not find it in a spotless, empty kitchen. The mind that postpones peace will simply find a new finish line once the old one is crossed. One task ends, and it immediately projects another. This creates a life of perpetual leaning forward, where the nervous system is never allowed to settle into now. The Buddha taught that suffering often arises not from the action, but from our resistance to the action. You can work with presence or work with resentment. The physical action of writing the email may be identical, but your inner experience is worlds apart. When you believe peace is later, you rush. You tighten your jaw and your mind. You treat the minutes as thieves stealing your future calm. This state of inner resistance is what truly exhausts us, far more than the work itself. I once knew a gardener here at the temple whose practice embodied this. He would spend hours weeding a single flower bed. His movements were slow, deliberate. I asked him if he ever felt rushed to move to the next task. He smiled, his hands never stopping their gentle work. "The weed I am pulling now is my only duty," he said. "If my mind is in the next bed, or at the end of the row, I am not here with this root. And if I am not here, I am at war with time. Weeding then becomes a burden. But when I am here," he said, tugging a plant free with a soft pop of earth, "it is simply what my hands are doing. There is no burden. There is only the weed, the soil, and me. That is peaceful enough." For him, the work and the peace were not separate. The careful attention was the peace. Your life is inherently unfinished. It is a stream, not a pond. Waiting for the stream to stop flowing before you allow yourself to be at peace is a recipe for a lifetime of waiting. The practice is to find the stillness within the flow. To exhale now, in the middle of the messy, incomplete, beautiful process of your day. Peace is not the absence of tasks. It is the absence of inner war with the task that is in your hands right now. Do not postpone your tranquility. It is available in the very next breath you take, if you are willing to be there with it. If this gentle exploration feels like a space you wish to return to, consider subscribing to Monk's Temple. Your subscription is like a soft bell, a reminder to pause and come back to this quiet inquiry amidst the noise of your days. Let's continue. And as we do, keep allowing your awareness to be gentle, to be soft. There's no test here, only observation. The next whisper we often hear in the morning fog of our minds is one that sounds like humility, but is actually a deep surrender of our power. It is the lie of, "I need to know I'm doing it right from the outside." We wake up and, often without realizing it, we turn on an internal broadcasting system. We are not just living our morning, we are also narrating it, commenting on it, and, most critically, imagining how it appears to an invisible panel of judges. A partner, a boss, peers, the vague specter of society. We outsource our compass. Buddhism identifies this as a form of tanha, craving, specifically the craving for approval and the aversion to blame. When your sense of rightness is tied to external validation, you anchor your inner peace to the most unstable force in existence, other people's opinions. These opinions are themselves born of their own fears, moods, and past experiences. It is like building your house on a foundation of shifting sand. Every breeze of praise feels wonderful, every hint of criticism feels catastrophic. You are forever off balance. The path encourages pakitam, the personally verified, the inwardly known. This is the cultivation of an inner gyroscope. It is not about ignoring feedback or becoming arrogant. It is about learning to distinguish the clear, quiet knowing of your own sincere effort from the loud, fluctuating noise of others' perceptions. The monk does not practice diligently because he will be praised. He practices because he knows, directly, the difference between a mind tangled in desire and a mind that is clear. That direct knowing is his true guide. I remember a potter who visited the temple, her hands skilled but her spirit anxious. Her work was beautiful, but she was obsessed with how it would be received at the upcoming gallery show. She would make a vase, then immediately hold it up as if seeing it through a critic's eyes. Is it tall enough? Is the glaze fashionable? What will the reviewer say? Her joy in the craft had vanished, replaced by a constant, low-grade fear. The clay, under her worried hands, became stiff, lifeless. We invited her to spend a day making pots not for the gallery, not for a buyer, but for the clay itself. Make what the clay wants to become, we suggested. Your only job is to be a clear conduit for that. At first, she was frustrated. The internal critic wouldn't be silent. But slowly, as she focused solely on the feel of the cool, spinning earth, on the pressure of her palms shaping a form emerging from within, something shifted. She forgot the audience. She became a partner in a silent conversation with the material. The pots that emerged that day were unlike her others. They were less perfect, perhaps, but they had a wild, serene, authentic beauty. She had reconnected with her inner compass, the simple, profound dialogue between her awareness and the act of creation. The gallery's opinion, she later realized, mattered far less than the truth of that dialogue. When you wake up needing validation, you create a split in your energy. One part of you lives. Another part watches and critiques the living. A third part imagines the watchers. This division is profoundly draining. Focus requires wholeness, a full immersion in the act. The next time you sit down to work, to write, to simply plan your day, notice if you are performing for an imagined panel. See if you can gently let that panel go. Do the task for its own sake. Do it with care because care is a worthy quality, not because it will be seen. Feel the difference in your body. The approval of the world is a fickle breeze. The satisfaction of sincere, present effort is a steady, inner sun. Now, let's turn to a whisper that is the very engine of that frantic, divided energy. The lie of multitasking makes me more productive. We wear our ability to juggle multiple tabs, conversations, and trains of thought as a badge of capability. We mistake the feeling of busyness for the state of effectiveness. The mind jumps from email to text message to a half-formed thought about dinner, and we call this working. The Buddha's teachings on the nature of mind make it clear, consciousness is sequential. What we call multitasking is, in reality, rapid, successive switching. Each switch carries a cost, a tiny residue of unfinished neural energy, a microfracture in attention. These costs accumulate silently. By midday, you may feel a strange, hollow exhaustion, even if you've been physically still. This is not the fatigue of labor, but the fatigue of fragmentation. The practice cultivates ekagata, one-pointedness, collectedness. A mind collected upon a single object is like a still, deep pool. It reflects reality clearly. A mind scattered is like that same pool churned by a dozen stones, the reflection is shattered into meaningless ripples. You cannot understand a complex problem, savor a meal, or truly listen to a person while your attention is divided. You are everywhere and nowhere. There is a story of a master carpenter who was hired to build a library for a great scholar. The scholar, a notorious multitasker, would often visit the site, talking at the carpenter about philosophy while checking manuscripts. The carpenter worked slowly, silently, his entire being focused on the joint he was cutting, the level he was checking. The scholar, exasperated by the slow pace, finally said, "How can you work so slowly on just one thing? I manage 100 thoughts at once." The carpenter put down his chisel. He picked up 2 beautiful, intricate wooden gears he had carved. "This gear," he said, holding up one, "took me a full day of quiet attention. It will turn smoothly for centuries." He then pointed to the scholar's cluttered desk. "You are trying to be all the gears at once, in every machine. But no single thought of yours is crafted well enough to mesh with depth. Your mind is a room full of half-made, clicking things." The scholar was stunned into silence. He had confused motion for progress, noise for wisdom. When you begin your day by splitting your attention, you train your mind in restlessness. You teach it that nowhere is truly here. The opposite practice, single tasking, feels uncomfortable at first precisely because the mind is untrained. It rebels with boredom, with urges to check, to switch. This is not a sign you are failing. It is a sign you are strengthening a neglected muscle. Choose one thing. The most important thing, or simply the first thing. Do only that until it reaches a natural conclusion. You will find, paradoxically, that time expands. The task often takes less effort because all of your energy is flowing in one channel. This is not a productivity hack. It is a form of respect, for your own mind, and for the dignity of the activity itself. Let's continue our gentle exploration. Allow your breath to be an anchor, a soft rhythm in the background of your awareness. We now come to a whisper that is so fundamental, so woven into our sense of self, that questioning it can feel like stepping off a cliff. It is the lie of, "My thoughts are me." You wake up. A thought arises, "I am tired." Another follows, "Today will be hard." Without a moment's pause, you accept these statements as reports from headquarters, as definitive truths about your identity and your future. You believe the thinker is you. Buddhism offers a liberating, and initially startling, correction through the teaching of anatta, non-self. This is not a nihilistic denial of your existence. It is a profound reorientation. You are not the thoughts that pass through. You are the aware space in which they appear, have their life, and fade away. Thoughts are events in consciousness, like clouds in the sky or sounds in a room. Some are dark storm clouds, some are light and wispy. The sky, your awareness, holds them all, is changed by none of them. When you mistake a passing, stormy cloud for the entire nature of the sky, you suffer. When you believe a worrying thought is you, you contract around it. Your whole world becomes the weather of that worry. A thought says, "You are not good enough," and you accept it as a life sentence. But from the perspective of awareness, it is just a sentence, a string of words arising from memory, conditioning, fatigue. It has weight only because you confer upon it the authority of your identity. I learned this not from a book, but from watching an old maple tree outside the temple window through a fierce autumn storm. The wind screamed. The branches thrashed wildly. Leaves tore away in frantic spirals. From my limited perspective, the tree was in agony, fighting for its life. But when the storm passed, and I went outside, I placed my hand on its trunk. It was profoundly still. Deep, quiet, unmoved. The storm had happened to it, around it. But the tree's essence was not the thrashing. Its essence was the deep, rooted stillness that witnessed the storm. Your mind is that tree. The thoughts are the wind and the thrashing branches. Your awareness is the deep, silent trunk. You are not the storm. You are that which knows the storm. This understanding changes everything about a tired morning. When the thought, "I don't want to do this," appears, awareness can note, resistance is here. When "this will fail" arises, awareness can note, fear is passing through. There is no need to argue with the thought, nor to obey it. There is just clear seeing. And in that seeing, a space opens. In that space, you have a choice. You are no longer a puppet jerked by mental strings. You are the conscious gardener who can decide which plants to water and which to let wither. This leads us naturally to a whisper that is the anxious twin of the previous one. The lie of, "I have to think my way out of this." When we feel confusion, unease, or lack of focus, our default is to turn up the volume of thinking. We analyze, strategize, replay, and forecast. We believe that if we just think harder, clearer, and longer, the mental knot will untangle. We treat the thinking mind as the only tool in the workshop. Buddhism repositions thought with great respect, as a useful tool, but a terrible master. Wisdom, panna, does not primarily arise from more thinking. It arises from direct, embodied awareness, from seeing, hearing, and feeling before the labeling mind rushes in. Trying to think your way out of a muddled mental state is like using mud to wash off mud. You keep the problem trapped within the very system that created it. The mind, when tangled, often needs not more of itself, but a return to the simplicity of the body. Thinking ungrounded from sensory reality becomes abstract, circular, and exhausting. It's a hamster wheel generating its own dizziness. A man once came to the temple, a brilliant lawyer whose mind was a labyrinth of precedent and argument. He was besieged by insomnia, his mind racing with cases he'd won and lost, conversations he should have had. We didn't discuss his cases. Instead, I gave him a simple instruction for his first night. To focus not on stopping his thoughts, but on feeling the weight of his body sinking into the mattress. To feel the texture of the sheets against his skin. To follow one breath, all the way down into his toes, and all the way out. To do this for just 3 minutes. He reported back, amazed. The thoughts were still there, he said. But they were, over there. Like noisy neighbors in another apartment. I was here, in the feeling of the bed. And for the first time in months, I found a gap. And in that gap, I slept. He didn't think his way to peace. He felt his way to it by anchoring in the body. Your morning anxiety is often not a puzzle for the thinking mind to solve. It is a signal that awareness has floated up into the abstract and needs to be grounded. Before you engage with the day's narrative, take 90 seconds. Feel your feet firmly on the floor. Listen to the very silence in the room. Notice the temperature of the air on your face. This is not avoiding your problems. This is coming into the command center of your lived experience, the present moment, from which all clear thinking and effective action can actually flow. Do not try to think your way into focus. Settle your way into it. The calm, somatic awareness of the body is the stable ground from which the mind can then operate with clarity, not franticness. When the whirlwind of thought begins, remember the maple tree. Root your awareness in the sensation of breath, in the feeling of support beneath you. The wind may blow, but you are no longer identified with every falling leaf. Let's continue, settling deeper into this space of gentle inquiry. There's no race, only a slow, kind unfolding. Now we arrive at a whisper that feels like a protective friend but is, in truth, a jailer. It is the lie of, I must eliminate discomfort to be focused. We tell ourselves we cannot possibly settle into deep work, or even simple presence, while we are physically restless, emotionally uneasy, or mentally itchy. We believe focus requires a perfect inner climate, a state of calm, ease, and comfort. And so we postpone our engagement, waiting for the discomfort to pass. We adjust pillows, seek snacks, scroll through feeds, all in an attempt to engineer the right conditions for attention. Buddhist practice takes a radically different view. Discomfort, be it an aching back, a buzz of anxiety, or the mental agitation of boredom, is not the enemy of focus. The enemy is our compulsive avoidance of it. When we believe we must feel comfortable to concentrate, we train our minds in fragility. The slightest unpleasant sensation becomes a red alarm that shatters our attention. We become like delicate instruments that can only function in a climate-controlled room, useless in the real world. The practice cultivates upekkha, equanimity. This is not cold indifference. It is a steady, balanced awareness that can meet pleasant and unpleasant sensations without being swept away by either. In meditation, you learn to sit with an itch without immediately scratching it, with stiffness without immediately shifting. You bring a curious, gentle attention to the discomfort itself. You discover it is not a solid wall, but a constellation of changing sensations, heat, pressure, vibration, that rise, peak, and fall away on their own. By not fighting it, you break the associative chain that says, discomfort equals emergency. I recall a musician who studied at the temple, a cellist with incredible technical skill. She could only practice in ideal conditions, absolute quiet, perfect room temperature, her mind completely serene. A barking dog, a stuffy room, or a lingering worry would derail her entire session. Her progress was halting, her relationship with her art fraught with tension. Her teacher, an old monk who also played a simple flute, gave her a strange assignment. He asked her to practice her most complex piece not in the studio, but outside, by a busy path in the temple gardens. Play with the sounds of the birds, the footsteps, the distant chatter, he said. Don't play against them. Let them be part of the music. It was agony at first. Every external sound felt like a violation. Her playing was stiff and full of errors. But the monk insisted. Slowly, out of sheer exhaustion from fighting, she began to relax into the conditions. She started to notice how the call of a certain bird could actually fit rhythmically between two phrases. The rustle of leaves became a soft percussion. She wasn't just tolerating discomfort, she was incorporating the entire field of experience into her awareness. Her focus didn't narrow to block things out, it expanded to include everything. Her playing transformed. It gained a resilience, a depth, and a profound lyrical quality it never had in the sterile silence. She had discovered that her capacity to be present with her music was independent of her comfort. In fact, the slight friction made her presence even more vivid. Your capacity for focus is a muscle. If you only exercise it in perfect, pain-free conditions, it remains weak. It needs the gentle resistance of mild discomfort to grow strong. The next time you sit to read or work and feel the urge to get up, to check your phone, to seek a distraction, see that urge not as a command, but as the weight on your mental barbell. This is the moment your focus strengthens. Stay. Breathe into the restlessness. Observe it as an energy pattern in your body. You will find it changes, it moves, it dissipates. And you remain, having grown steadier. Now, let's examine a whisper that is the foundation of so much morning strain. The lie of, I need to control everything to be okay. This one disguises itself as responsibility and foresight. It whispers that safety, calm, and success are products of meticulous management. You wake up and your mind immediately becomes a command center, scanning the horizon for potential problems, rehearsing conversations, and trying to force the fluid, uncertain day into a fixed, predictable shape. From the Buddhist perspective, this is a classic manifestation of upadana. Clinging or grasping. It is attachment masquerading as competence. The deep driver here is a fear of life's inherent uncertainty, anicca. But reality is, by its nature, interdependent, changing, and unpredictable. Trying to freeze this flowing river into a controlled canal is an exhausting war against the fundamental way of things. The fatigue you feel isn't from the work of living, it's from the futile effort of trying to be the unchanging dictator of a changing world. The teaching makes a vital distinction between viriya, right effort, and upadana, clinging. Effort is clean, skillful action taken with what is available. It is planting seeds, watering them diligently. Clinging is the emotional demand for a specific outcome. It is standing over the seeds, demanding they grow into roses when you planted tomatoes, and grow by Tuesday. One nurtures possibility. The other creates suffering. There is a story of a master kite maker whose kites were famed for their breathtaking, aerial dances. A young, controlling apprentice, eager to master the craft, would build kites with rigid, perfect frames and try to force them through elaborate maneuvers with harsh, forceful tugs on the string. They would fly, but stiffly, and often crash. The old master's kites, however, used flexible bamboo and lighter paper. His control of the string seemed impossibly subtle, almost loose. "You are fighting the wind," the master told the frustrated apprentice. "You think you are the pilot. You are not. You are the co-pilot. The wind is the other. Your job is not to command the wind, but to have a sensitive, constant conversation with it through this string. You feel its intention, and you suggest a direction. The dance is born from that partnership, not from your force." The apprentice, humbled, began to relax his grip. He learned to feel the tension in the line as a language. His kites began to soar, not because he controlled more, but because he collaborated more. When you wake up trying to control the day, you tense your entire being. Your mind becomes rigid, missing subtle cues and opportunities that don't fit the plan. You react defensively to deviations. Ironically, you lose the very influence you seek, because people and situations resist force. Control constricts. Presence allows. A mind that releases the illusion of total control becomes flexible, resilient, and far more responsive. It deals skillfully with what is, rather than exhausting itself railing against what isn't. Do what you can, with full, sincere effort. Prepare, act, care. Then, release the outcome. This is not passivity. It is intelligent, humble cooperation with the reality of this moment. It is the profound relief of waking up from the exhausting, lonely dream of being the general manager of the universe, and stepping into the peaceful, powerful role of a conscious, compassionate participant. Let's continue our journey inward, to that quiet space beneath the morning's noise. Allow your next breath to be a soft reset, a gentle letting go of all that has come before. We come now to a whisper that drains the color from our days, a whisper of quiet resignation. It is the lie of, today is just another day. This thought doesn't shout with anxiety or ache with desire. It murmurs with a dull, flat tone. It categorizes the 24 hours ahead as ordinary, routine, forgettable. It's a label that grants us permission for unconsciousness. We move through the motions, the shower, the commute, the work, while our awareness is somewhere else entirely, lost in rehearsal or memory. The day becomes a blur, a copy of a copy, lacking any texture of aliveness. Buddhism exists to wake us from this specific slumber. The very word, Buddha, means, the awakened one. The point is not that today must be spectacular or filled with novelty. The point is that today is utterly, uniquely alive. This particular configuration of the world, of your body, of your mind, has never existed before and will never exist again. The light through your window this morning is a once-in-eternity event. To label it ordinary is to paste a generic wallpaper over a one-of-a-kind fresco. It is a tragic form of ignorance, for it turns the miraculous fact of being conscious into a repetitive burden. This lie erodes vitality from the inside. It's why people can have comfortable, predictable lives and still feel a hollow ache of emptiness. They are not suffering from a lack of excitement, but from an absence of presence. They are sleepwalking through a miracle, mistaking the familiarity of the path for boredom with the journey. The practice is to meet the day without labels. This is sati, mindfulness, remembering. It transforms automatic repetition into sacred ritual. Washing your hands becomes feeling the miracle of clean, cool water. Walking to your car becomes feeling the connection between your foot and the earth. Listening becomes an act of deep, generous receiving. The sacred is hidden not in special events, but in the mindful inhabiting of the seemingly mundane. I think of a woman who ran a small ferry between two villages for 40 years. The same route, dozens of times a day. One might see the ultimate monotony. But speaking with her once, she described her world, the river is never the same. Not once. Today it's the color of slate, and it smells of coming rain. Yesterday it was golden and slow. The people are never the same. A man today carries a worry in his shoulders that wasn't there yesterday. A child sees a heron I didn't even notice. My boat's engine has a new hum this week, I must listen to it. If I think it's just another crossing, I am dead while alive. But if I pay attention, I am crossing the universe every time. For her, no day was ordinary. It was a constant, gentle conversation with life. Her life was simple, but it was not small. It was infinitely deep because she showed up for it. When you wake up believing today is ordinary, you shut down your senses. You miss the subtle shift in a loved one's energy. You overlook the quiet insight waiting in a moment of pause. You fail to notice the small, courageous choice you could make. Focus fades because nothing seems to warrant your full attendance. But when you drop the label, the world comes alive. You notice the play of shadow on the wall. You feel the warmth of the cup in your hand. You hear the specific tone in a colleague's greeting. This is not naive optimism. It is raw, respectful attention. It is pulling off the veil of ordinary and meeting the day in its naked suchness. This directly relates to another whisper, one that steals the urgency from our moments. The lie of, "I have plenty of time today." This feels harmless, even wise. No rush, it soothes. The day is long. But this belief is a tranquilizer for the soul. It dissolves the precious, sharp awareness of now. And in the Buddhist sense, this awareness of time's fleeting nature, apamita, or heedfulness, is not about panic. It is about a profound intimacy with the irreplaceable gift of the present moment. The teaching on anicca, impermanence, is practical. Everything that arises is in the process of passing. This breath, this feeling, this particular opportunity to choose kindness, to begin a task, to really see someone. To say, "I have plenty of time," is to act as if moments are generic, interchangeable beads on a string. They are not. Each one is a unique jewel, and once it passes through your fingers, its particular brilliance is gone forever. When you believe in endless time, you mentally postpone your life. You drift. A few minutes of idle scrolling, a decision deferred, a meaningful conversation delayed. These are not great crimes. They are tiny, imperceptible leaks in the vessel of your presence. By evening, the vessel feels mysteriously empty, and you are left with a vague fatigue, not from doing, but from not fully arriving anywhere you were. There is a practice here at the temple of drinking morning tea in complete silence for the first 3 sips. The instruction is to be there for the entirety of the experience, the heat radiating through the ceramic, the aroma rising, the first touch of liquid to lip, the complex flavor unfolding on the tongue, the sensation of swallowing. It is a tiny ceremony of heedfulness. If your mind is already on the day's chores while you drink, you have missed the tea. You have also missed that unique, peaceful moment of dawn. You have traded the actual, alive moment for a ghost of a future one. Your entire day is full of such first sips of tea. The first step out of bed. The first look out the window. The first word you speak. When you believe you have plenty of time, you sleepwalk past these micro moments. You lose the song of your own life in the assumption of an encore. True urgency is the opposite of rush. Rush is future-focused, frantic. Urgency, born of heedfulness, is present-focused, vivid, and deeply respectful. It says, "This moment is alive and responsive. My attention belongs here, completely, because it will never be here again." Do not let the assumption of abundance trick you into poverty of experience. Today is not just another day. It is the only day of this exact composition you will ever be given. Don't ask it to be more. Simply be there for it, fully. That is how a lifetime becomes not a string of forgotten days, but a mosaic of consciously lived moments. Let's continue, sinking deeper into this quiet space of understanding. There's no need to grasp, simply let these words wash over you like morning light. Now we arrive at a whisper that is the quiet saboteur of all growth, the polite assassin of potential. It is the lie of, "I'll start tomorrow." This one feels harmless because it doesn't say, no. It says, later. It nods in agreement with all your best intentions, all your visions of a better self, while gently placing a pillow over them. It splits your identity in two, the future you, who will be disciplined, focused, and brave, and the present you, who is granted a hall pass to remain exactly as you are. It is the ultimate deferral of life. Buddhism sees this not as poor time management, but as a fundamental confusion about the nature of time and self. Tomorrow is a concept, a phantom. It has no substance you can ever touch. The only reality you can ever act within is now. Postponing action is like mailing a letter to a fictional address. You feel the satisfaction of having sent it, but it will never arrive, and your true message remains undelivered. You are storing your responsibility in a warehouse that does not exist. The mind loves tomorrow because it is a fantasy land free of friction, risk, and the messy reality of effort. The future self is always more rested, more motivated, more capable. But that future self is a ghost, conjured by the present mind to avoid discomfort. Every time you choose tomorrow, you are not preserving a perfect beginning, you are actively strengthening the neural pathway of delay. You are training in hesitation. There is a concept of kala, the right time. In the Buddha's teaching, the right time is not a future date when stars align. The right time is when you remember. When the intention to practice, to begin, to change arises, however faintly, that is the moment of maximum potency. To delay is to let that spark of intention gutter and die. You are waiting for a better match while the one in your hand goes out. I remember a man who would visit the temple gardens every spring. He loved a particular wild, overgrown corner filled with poppies. For years, he'd say, "Next visit, I'll bring my sketchbook and draw this. I'm not good enough yet, I need better pencils, more time." The seasons turned. One year, he came, and a new, orderly herb garden had been planted in that corner. The poppies were gone. His face fell with a grief that was about far more than flowers. "I was waiting to be ready," he said quietly. But the poppies weren't waiting for me. He had confused preparation with participation. He thought he needed to be an artist to draw them, not realizing that drawing them was how he would become one. The opportunity, like the poppies, was impermanent. His tomorrow had finally arrived, and it was an herb garden. Beginning is the sacred act. Not finishing. Not achieving. Beginning. The Buddha emphasized right effort, not flawless completion. A single, stumbling step taken with awareness today does more to reshape your life than the most elegant, detailed plan residing in the future. It collapses the artificial division between your present and future self. You become whole in the action itself. You stop being a person who intends to meditate and become, for 1 minute, a person who is meditating. The identity shifts through the doing. So when you hear the whisper of, "I'll start tomorrow," about anything, a difficult conversation, a project, a habit of kindness, hear it for what it is, the voice of fear wearing the disguise of patience. Don't argue with it. Simply take the smallest, most concrete, almost laughably tiny step you can conceive of in this instant. Text one sentence. Clear one shelf. Speak one true word. Do 10 seconds of mindful breathing. Action, no matter how small, creates a new reality. Inaction keeps you in the waiting room of your own life, listening for a call that will never come, because you are the one who must make it. Now, Let's turn to a whisper that sounds like humility but is a deep form of self-betrayal. The lie of, I need to fix myself before I can live well. This one carries the weight of seeming maturity. It says, once I am more disciplined, more healed, more confident, more together, then I will deserve peace, joy, and a focused life. The present you is treated as a flawed prototype, a temporary inconvenience to be corrected before you are allowed to fully inhabit your days. Buddhism identifies this as a subtle, chronic form of self-rejection. It creates a permanent inner civil war between the problem, the present self, and the solution, the future, improved self. Your life is put on hold, awaiting your own graduation. This turns the beautiful path of growth into a form of self-suspension. You are constantly working on yourself instead of living as yourself. The path of the Buddha is indeed one of profound transformation, but it begins with acceptance, not rejection. Acceptance is not complacency, it is the clear, compassionate seeing required for any true change. You cannot clearly see, and therefore skillfully work with, something you are constantly pushing away. The practice is to meet yourself where you are, with all your contradictions and quirks, and discover that this very awareness is already whole, already capable, already workable. Imagine a master stone carver searching for a perfect, flawless block of marble. He rejects one for a vein of quartz, another for a faint crack. He searches for years, his tools idle. Another carver walks into the same yard, sees a rejected, imperfect, block with a striking dark streak running through it. She doesn't see a flaw. She sees a river at midnight. She sees the path of a comet. She works with the streak, carving a figure whose robe flows along that very line, making it the central, breathtaking feature of the piece. The flaw becomes the source of its unique beauty and profound value. You are that block of stone. Your anxiety, your procrastination, your wandering mind, these are not just defects to be eliminated. They are part of your grain, your unique patterning. The practice is not to sand yourself into a featureless slab, but to understand your grain, to bring mindful awareness to it, and to learn how your particular composition can express wisdom, compassion, and presence. Your so-called flaws, met with awareness, often become the very portals to your deepest strength and understanding. A young woman came to us who saw her intense empathy as a crippling weakness. It overwhelmed her in crowds, drained her in conflict. She wanted to fix herself into being tougher, more detached. We didn't give her exercises to numb her feelings. We asked her to sit and simply feel that empathic sensitivity in her body, to map its physical sensations without story. Then, we asked her to direct just 5% of that feeling toward the potted plant in the room. Just feel what it might be like to be this plant, rooted here, needing water and sun. She did. And for the first time, her empathy, instead of being a diffuse, overwhelming burden, became a focused, gentle skill. She later channeled it into becoming a gifted therapist. She didn't fix her flaw, she befriended it, understood it, and redirected its flow. She stopped waiting to be whole and started living from the completeness of her present, sensitive being. You are allowed to live well now. Not after your transformation. Now. Begin your day, your work, your relationships, as the imperfect, evolving, messy, beautiful being you are. Your right to peace and focus is not contingent on your level of improvement. In fact, Your deepest growth will only flower when you stop suspending your life for its sake. Plant the garden today, even if your hands are muddy and you're not sure what will grow. The planting itself is the first and most important blossom. Let's continue, returning to the breath, to the gentle anchor of the present. Let your awareness be soft, like moonlight resting on still water. We now approach a whisper that is the source of much morning anxiety, the feeling of a day already burdened before it's begun. It is the lie of, I need to feel motivated before I begin. We've touched on this, but let's delve into its deeper layers. This whisper turns our emotional state into a gatekeeper. We believe action is a vehicle that cannot start without the fuel of feeling energetic, feeling inspired, feeling clear. So we sit in the driver's seat, checking the emotional gauge, waiting for it to hit full before we even turn the key. We treat motivation as a cause, when in the wisdom of Buddhism, it is most often a consequence. The Buddha's path places the power not in the fleeting, conditional realm of emotion, Vedana, but in the steadier ground of intention, Satana. And volitional action. Motivation is like the weather. It changes based on 1,000 factors you do not control, a night's sleep, a memory, a hormone, a headline. To wait for motivation is to make yourself a beggar at the mercy of these shifting winds. You are waiting for randomness to favor you. That is not a strategy, it is a surrender of agency. A more profound metaphor is to see your mind not as a king that must be inspired to issue decrees, but as a flowing stream. A stream does not need to feel like flowing. It flows because that is its nature, following the pull of gravity, the pull of your deepest values and intentions. When you act from intention before the feeling arrives, you are aligning with that natural pull. You are telling the streambed of your mind that its shape, your commitment to care for your family, to do good work, to practice kindness, is more real and reliable than the weather on its surface. The mind, accustomed to being consulted, will protest. This is boring. This is hard. I don't feel like it. This protest is not wisdom. It is the sound of habit, the creaking of a door unused to being opened. In Buddhist practice, this initial resistance is not an instruction to stop. It is a sensation to be noted with mindfulness, a wave in the stream. You acknowledge it, resistance is here, and you gently continue to flow in the direction of your intention. And here is the secret the lie conceals: action generates its own propulsion. The stream, once moving, finds its current. The focus, the energy, the sense of engagement, they are not prerequisites you lack. They are byproducts generated by the very friction of doing. Like a fire that needs a first spark and then sustains itself on the wood it burns, your effort creates the conditions for more effort, your focus deepens focus. Waiting for motivation creates a barren, self-fulfilling loop. You feel flat, so you don't act. By not acting, you confirm the flatness, and your energy pools into stagnation and guilt. Let me share a story of a woodcarver who worked in a shed behind the temple. He was a master of detail, but he confessed that he rarely felt like walking to the shed in the morning. The blank wood was intimidating. The tools felt heavy. He would sometimes linger over tea for an hour, waiting for the purge to strike. Then he made a simple, seemingly meaningless rule. He would walk to the shed and sharpen one chisel. Just one. He didn't have to carve. Just sharpen the tool. This action was so small it bypassed the resistance. He would do it. The sound of the steel on the stone, the smell of the oil, the feel of the bevel becoming keen, almost every single time, by the time the chisel was sharp, his hand would naturally reach for a piece of wood, his eye would see a line to follow. The motivation didn't arrive first. It was conjured by the simple, intentional action of caring for the tool. The first right action was not carving, it was sharpening. He learned to trust the process, not the prelude. Your morning does not require a fanfare of feeling to begin. It asks for a simple, faithful first step. Don't ask, "How do I feel?" That question leads into a maze of self-analysis with no exit. Ask instead, what is the smallest, most obvious next right thing? The answer is never dramatic. Put on the kettle. Open the document. Lace up the shoes. Breathe deeply once. Do it not as a grand gesture, but with the quiet fidelity of the stream finding its course. Begin first. Let the feeling of motivation catch up. It is a faithful dog, it will follow where action leads. This leads us to a companion lie, one that traps us in endless preparation. The lie of, "I have to think my way out of this." We believe that confusion, lack of direction, or anxiety are puzzles for the intellect to solve. So we double down on thinking, analyzing our mood from every angle, planning and replanning, mistaking mental motion for progress. We treat the thinking mind as the only faculty capable of finding clarity. Buddhism honors thinking as a powerful tool, but knows its limitations. Wisdom, panna, does not arise from more thought. It arises from a shift from thinking to seeing. It comes from awareness grounded in the body, in the senses, in the direct experience of the present. When you are trying to think your way out of a mental knot, you are using the knot to untie the knot. You keep the problem confined within the very system that created it. The mind, when tangled, often needs not more of itself, but a return to the simplicity of the preconceptual world. Thinking unmoored from sensory reality becomes abstract, self-referential, and exhausting. It's a hall of mirrors, reflecting distortions of itself. A businessman once came to the temple, paralyzed by a career decision. He had lists of pros and cons, financial projections, 5-year plans. He would think in circles all night. We didn't discuss his lists. I gave him a broom and asked him to sweep the long stone path from the gate to the temple, a task that would take about 20 minutes. "Just sweep," I said. "Feel the broom. Hear the sound. See the path become clear." He was skeptical, but desperate. As he swept, his body fell into a rhythm. His mind, deprived of its usual fodder, initially churned with thoughts about his decision. But the repetitive motion, the tactile feedback, the simple goal of a clean path, began to absorb him. By the end, he was just sweeping. His mind was quiet, his body tired in a good way. He came back and said, "I didn't get an answer. But the question doesn't feel like a cage anymore. It feels like, just a question." In the space created by the simple, embodied action, his perspective had shifted. The answer didn't come as a thought, it came later as a quiet, clear knowing about what path felt right, not which one looked best on paper. Your morning confusion is often not a lack of insight, but a surplus of ungrounded thought. Before you try to think your day into order, move your body into order. Make your bed. Take 3 slow breaths while looking out a window. Stretch. Wash your face with cold, attentive care. This grounds the flighty mind in the reality of sensation. From this anchored, embodied awareness, your thinking can then become a clear, useful tool for navigating the day, rather than a frantic engine generating its own fog. Don't think your way into focus. Act your way into clarity. The body's wisdom is the stable ground from which the mind can see clearly. Let's continue, and as we near the end of our exploration, let your awareness settle like a leaf coming to rest on a still pond. There is nothing more to achieve here, only a deepening of understanding. We arrive now at a whisper that is perhaps the most spiritually corrosive of all, for it dresses itself in the robes of virtue. It is the lie of, my worth is measured by my output. This is a silent, pervasive belief that equates being with doing, that confuses value with productivity. You wake up and, almost immediately, an internal ledger opens. What did I accomplish yesterday? What must I produce today? Your sense of being okay, of being allowed to rest, of being a valid human being, becomes secretly tied to a list of completed tasks. This turns your life from a mystery to be lived into a report to be filed. Buddhism cuts through this with the luminous teaching of suchness or tathata. This is the intrinsic worth of a thing, simply because it is. A mountain has value not because it can be mined, but because it is a mountain. A stream has value not because it powers a mill, but because it is a stream. Your worth is not an output. It is a fundamental premise. You are valuable because you are a conscious manifestation of life, capable of awareness, of feeling, of presence. The busy, achieving self is just one transient wave on the ocean of your being. To believe the wave is the entire ocean is a profound and exhausting mistake. When this lie is operating, even rest becomes a form of covert productivity. I must rest so I can produce more later. You cannot simply sit and watch the clouds without a subtle sense of guilt. This creates a background hum of low-grade anxiety, because the ledger is never finally balanced. There is always more that could be done. Your focus, in this state, is not a calm, clear light. It is a laser beam of scarcity, scanning for the next thing to conquer so you can feel, for a moment, that you are enough. I recall an immensely successful architect who came to the temple, a man whose name was on magnificent buildings. Yet, he was hollow. He described his life as a series of completed projects, each one briefly giving him a hit of validation before the emptiness returned, demanding the next project. I am my last building, he said wearily. And when it's done, I disappear until the next one. We asked him to spend a day not designing, not planning, but simply observing the temple's old, moss-covered stone wall. No goal. Just to look. Frustrated at first, he eventually settled. He noticed how the moss made continents and oceans on the stone. He saw how the light changed the color from gray to gold to blue-gray over the hours. He watched a spider repair a web with infinite patience. At the end of the day, he was quiet. That wall, he said slowly, doesn't do anything. It just sits there. Holding up the roof, yes, but mostly, just being a wall. And yet, it's one of the most beautiful, peaceful things I've ever seen. It has a dignity. It doesn't need to be a cathedral. In that moment, he glimpsed his own suchness. He saw that his worth, like the walls, was inherent, not earned. His subsequent work didn't lose its excellence, but the frantic, hungry drive behind it dissolved. He began to create from a place of fullness, not lack. Your to-do list belongs to the realm of human affairs. It is practical. But your worth belongs to the realm of being. It is absolute. You do not need to earn your right to be here through constant doing. You can engage with your work as an expression of your values, not as a ransom payment for your self-esteem. This shift turns exhausting striving into joyful contribution. The focus that arises from this is spacious and calm, not tight and desperate. Finally, let us integrate all of this by looking at the master lie, the umbrella under which so many others gather. The lie of, the present moment is not sufficient. This is the root. I need to feel motivated, because this unmotivated moment is insufficient. I need to be at peace later, because this busy moment is insufficient. I need to control everything, because this uncertain moment is insufficient. I need to be fixed, because this flawed moment is insufficient. We are in a quiet, lifelong rebellion against the fundamental suchness of now. The entire Buddhist path is a homecoming to the radical, transformative acceptance that this is it. Not that this is all there will ever be, but that this breath, this feeling, this situation, is the only actual raw material you have to work with. The future is a fantasy, the past a memory. This moment, with all its imperfections, its discomforts, its beauties, is the sole point of contact with reality. To reject it is to reject the only ground you can ever stand on. The practice is not to make every moment pleasurable, but to stop demanding that it be other than what it is. This is the essence of freedom. When you stop arguing with reality, a tremendous amount of energy, previously spent on inner resistance, is freed up. This energy becomes available for clear focus, for compassionate action, for genuine creativity. You are no longer trying to steer the river from the bank, you are in the river, aware of its flow, and able to swim with skill. So, as we prepare to close, carry this simple, profound question into your mornings, into your days: am I arguing with what is? When you feel tired, are you arguing with tiredness, or can you simply feel it? When you feel distracted, are you arguing with distraction, or can you gently note it and return? When a task feels daunting, are you arguing with its difficulty, or can you meet it with the next small step? This is the practice. Not perfection. Not a state of constant bliss. A gentle, persistent returning from the stories in your head to the alive reality of your senses. To the breath. To the body. To the world appearing before you. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are here. And here is the only place where life is ever happening. All the focus, energy, and peace you seek are not waiting in a future where you become someone else. They are hidden in plain sight, in your willingness to show up fully for the life that is already yours, exactly as it is in this very moment. And so we arrive here, together, at the end of our exploration and at the true beginning of your practice. Let us sit in this shared silence for a moment. Feel the space these words have occupied, and the wider, quieter space that holds them. We have walked through the quiet whispers of the morning mind, the lies of postponement, of external measurement, of the need for control, of the insufficiency of now. We have seen how Buddhism, not as a distant philosophy but as a living wisdom, offers not attacks against these lies, but a lamp of clear seeing. It asks us not to fight the shadows on the wall, but to turn toward the source of the light. The core of this wisdom rests on a few luminous, unshakable truths. Impermanence is not a threat, but the very nature of our aliveness, giving urgency and preciousness to this breath. Non-self is not an emptiness, but a liberation from the tyranny of passing thought, revealing the vast, aware space you truly are. Right effort is not harsh striving, but the gentle, persistent alignment of action with intention, regardless of the weather of feeling. Mindfulness is not a technique, but a homecoming to the only reality there is, the present, sensory, vivid moment. These are not beliefs to adopt, but realities to verify for yourself. You verify them not by thinking, but by doing. By sitting when you don't feel like sitting. By beginning before you feel ready. By listening to a sound completely, without layering it with story. By feeling the next breath all the way through. This is the path out of tiredness. Not by sleeping more, but by waking up more, right in the middle of your day. The exhaustion you carry is often not from your activities, but from the silent, inner war you wage against your own experience. The war with a thought you believe. The war with a feeling you resist. The war with a moment you deem not good enough. Lay down those arms. The peace you seek is the peace of the ceasefire. Tomorrow morning, when consciousness first returns, pause. In that soft, blank space before the first story begins, plant a seed of simple awareness. Feel the weight of your body on the mattress. Listen to the very first sound. Then, as the mind begins its old recital, you will have a choice. You can follow the whisper down its familiar, tired path, or you can, just for this one time, choose the smallest, most skillful action. Put your feet on the floor and feel the coolness. Say, "Good morning," to yourself, or to the room, with quiet sincerity. Brew your tea and watch the steam rise as if it is the most important ceremony on earth. Because it is. It is your ceremony of presence. It is your declaration that you are here, and you are awake. Do not try to fix your entire life today. That is another whisper, another future fantasy. Just meet this hour with a little more honesty. Meet this task with a little more of your full attention. Meet this person with your eyes and ears truly open. This is the practice of Monk's Temple. It is not confined to these walls or to this video. It is the temple of your own attention, built moment by moment through conscious choice. You are both the pilgrim and the sanctuary. Thank you for spending this time in gentle inquiry. Thank you for the courage to look clearly at the stories that shape your days. This is a lifelong conversation, and you are always welcome to return here, to this space of remembrance. As we close, let your intention be soft. Carry from this place not a list of things to fix, but a simple, warm curiosity about your own alive presence. A curiosity about the next breath. About the next sensation. About the next moment, which has never happened before and will never come again. Go gently into your day, into your life. Remember, you are not walking toward peace. You are learning to uncover the peace that walks with you. Be well. Be awake. Be here.